So, beginning our day. I guess we all enter spiritual life, spiritual practice for somewhat different reasons, coming out of our autobiography and our own sense of aspiration and so observations that people make at times like this, or in Dhamma talks, or in books, or what have you. We each of us respond to them somewhat differently according to our own inclinations and forms of attention and so forth. And I've always been interested in finding very simple teachings which I can kind of carry around. I don't have pockets, well I do, but carry around in your pocket instead of in a satchel or something weighing you down all the time, but just something very simple. And because so often it's the simple things that are the most profound, speak to the heart most directly. And so one of the things that I loved, a little story, when I first studied Buddhism and was interested in Buddhism, I was quite interested in Zen because, partly I think because it had such great stories, all kinds of stories. And then when I first encountered monks in this tradition, I found, well, we've got our stories too. That was very, very pleasing and very engaging and encouraging. Encouraging because you learn through stories about the living circumstances of people in the moment, in the day, people that you may share things with, nationality, what have you. So there's one story I always love and I return to often in Dhamma talks, even in talks such as these, from Wat Nanachat from years ago. And I don't know whether Lumpur Sameto was still the abbot then, or whether he was visiting from England or what have you. It doesn't really matter. But as you know, the forest tradition is a practice tradition. So in Thailand, forest monks are sometimes called Kammathan monks. So monks who are working on something, have some sort of meditation focus. And indeed, when I first went to Nanachat, you'd hear around the bowl washing period or informal gatherings, young monks asking one another, so what's your Kammathan? Is it the breath or walking or could be any number of things. And monastics often, for instance, experiment with a kind of unwholesome nature of the body, the repellent nature of the body, for instance. So all kinds of possibilities come out in the Visuddhimagga. I think the list is of 40 Kammathans. So you've got quite a choice. So quite naturally, we're always interested in the practice of our seniors, of people who have gone before us and have got the roots in the holy life to a degree that we probably do not, or perhaps do not. And so, and as I say, whether Lumpur Sameto was at this time the abbot or was a visiting elder, a respected elder with a history that everyone knew. Anyway, inevitably, someone asked Lumpur on some occasion, Lumpur, what's your Kammathan? And a few days ago I might have been able to pull this off, but anyway, I won't try to emulate his voice, but he said, my Kammathan, life is my Kammathan. And I don't know how that strikes you, but for me that has always been one of the most beautiful and engaging and somehow deep and true responses to that kind of question, just to see. So we use this verb framing now, it's a way of framing what it is that we do as practitioners, as monastics, as lay practitioners, as Buddhists. But maybe for some it may feel too general. Well, what does that really mean? Life, well, I'm living, and so forth. But I think for many of us, since the Dhamma is always encouraging us to reflect on our experience, to be present to experiences as it arises and takes some form and passes away, I think for many, or perhaps most practitioners of our ilk, there's something very, very engaging about that. And as I say, it's simple. Forest monasteries are not places, as a rule, that people come and just meditate for 20 hours a day. They aren't sort of meditation centers of that sort. Of course, there are retreats that occur, and meditation is a daily activity. But you've all got your responsibilities in the kitchen, or driving here and there, or refilling propane, or I wasn't paying attention, as you can see. But these are busy places, and coming back here now after 14 years, I can see the results of some of this busyness because of the, not just because of the extra buildings, and I haven't seen all of the kutis yet, but not only because of this kind of evidence, but also there is a kind of work that has taken place in the formation and ongoing cultivation of a community, being together, working with one another. And this matures over time, refines over time, so that even a brand new fledgling monastic or a first-time visitor is coming into a mature environment. And anyway, so there are all kinds of work that take place. A lot of the work that occurs in a monastery, I think, and in our practice, does so without our willing and doing. In some ways, it's the best kind of work because we aren't so involved in it. Getting out of the way, as you might know, as you might think, is one of the great tricks of practice. So, seeing life as one's Kammathan. I don't know if it gets any better, actually. Lumpur Pisano yesterday made an observation about the nature and quality of being around Lumpur Liam. And he's a real Kammathan monk. You can see that his life is completely something that has been informed by his practice. I'll leave my reflections today.